Get
over a
out of
hundred and
here.
something languages. And they're so happy when I pull this out. Like you
That
actually
is
cared.
crazy.
I love it.
That
I love
is
it.
crazy. That's like it's a real life translate. Like I've
Yes.
never seen it.
In real-
All right, so welcome everybody back to another success interview. Today we have Jamila from Prime Fingerprint going to do an awesome interview. Honestly, it's been almost a year since we've been on the call. I know we've been busy. I know you've been busy. Life happens. But when we first hopped on the call, I was like, it's been a minute. Like, how are you doing? So with that being said, how are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Excellent. So what we want to do in this interview is we focus a lot on not so much like the logistics of building a fingerprint bit. Like we have a whole bunch of videos for that. Like what we really touch on is like the human aspect, what it's like to do this business, because it's totally mysterious right now. If you still go out there, like you can't really learn a lot about it. So like that's our mission with this. So I guess if we could start off, we'll roll right into it. How did you find out about this?
So initially it started back in, I believe it was November of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my job because I wasn't vaccinated. So I was like on this hunt looking for something. And I went to YouTube and I stumbled upon mobile notaries. And I'm like, okay, let me see what that is. And I hit it. And then the video on the side was mobile fingerprinting. And I was like, oh, that sounds better. I hit that video, saw you explaining what it was, how to get started, that there is a demand for this. And I was like, oh yeah, this is all me. So I made that phone call initially. I think I spoke to Nick initially.
Yes. Yep.
And I just dumped my savings right into it.
And now look at you. Are you in your office right now? Or?
Yes, I am.
That is sick. That is awesome. I remember when we were first talking about it, you're like, oh, we're going to start out mobile. And I forget, did we started out with the office right from the get-go, right? Like you jumped right in?
Yes, because when I was talking to Nick said that, listen, it's a miracle you called because we need someone in Boston ASAP, immediately. Yeah, he did. He told me that. And I was like, okay. He said, so find an office. I did everything Nick told me to do. And look at me now. I'm here.
That's so awesome. Yeah. It's funny. I think, I know my light is in the background. I think our office is the same color. Now that I'm looking at it, it's literally the exact same colors as like probably like the same paint. It's just funny. I just noticed it. So you're in your office, you're doing fingerprinting. Yeah. What is, so what are you getting right now in regards to like the questions we always get is like, who needs fingerprinting? Like what type of people are actually getting the service? What's been like your experience? Because Massachusetts is a closed state. And you're still operating this business, you still have an office, still doing well. What are the types of clients or customers that you've seen come into like your business?
So a lot of traveling nurses, physicians, telehealth, immigration, quite a few apostilles that I was shocked. What else?
I think it's an East Coast thing, the apostilles, for some reason.
Yeah.
It's something about people who are traveling across the Atlantic to like the European countries, or Spain is a popular one I know happens all the time.
Yes.
And just for reference, an apostille, an FBI background check with a higher level of authentication because they're traveling outside of the country. We see that as like hugely popular on the East Coast, on the West Coast too, if they're traveling to the other side, but particularly on the East Coast, like Florida, hugely popular for it. But, Massachusetts, Boston, Rhode Island, like all those states, like people like are looking for these services. And the funny thing about it is like, nobody really does it. Like you were a newer business and people were calling you for apostille or FBI apostilles, right?
Yes.
It's crazy.
A lot of people here in Massachusetts don't know about FDLE. So when they see that on my business card or I tell them, they're like, what? You do that? Yeah. So that's a hidden gem too out here from Massachusetts.
That is, that's definitely another crazy one, because it's crazy to think that whenever somebody looks up like fingerprinting, or whenever like a fingerprinting service or business exists, it's like they focus on like the one core service, like, oh, I can only do state fingerprinting, or, I can only do ink fingerprinting. But then like when you hopped on board, you learned about FDLE, which is Florida stuff, which you can do anywhere in the country, FBI apostilles, FINRA, like all that, which you probably get a decent amount of too.
No, believe it or not. I
really?
Not one FINRA, and I am close to the financial district.
Okay. So after this, we're going to fix that. So how much, How much are you charging for an FBI apostille right now?
So the apostilles go for $350.
That's what you're charging?
Yes.
That is so crazy.
Is that too much? That's too
No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
okay.
No, I'm just saying that's awesome. $350 for one fingerprinting appointment. Like that's literally just one person, one fingerprinting appointment. That's why like we were always harping on like you have to advertise for FBI background checks. You have to, because you can get 2 or 3 of those a month, high profit margins. Like ink fingerprinting, all that stuff, like that's great. But like, man, if you get like 3, 4, 5 of those a month, start building your client base on FBI apostilles, like, and it's such like a little known service that like people probably don't find any other competitors about it. Like they're finding you. And in the beginning, like you were just first starting out, you're probably like, what the heck? Like, this is crazy. So you're in Boston. What's your plan for like the future? Because right now you're in your office, you're doing your thing. What's your plan for the future if you have any? Like, what's your goal that you want to do?
So my goal is hopefully by next year around this time, I will be on my own location. So that's what I've been scouring for. And then I would like to open up a second location in Rhode Island because I had quite a few clients that have came from Rhode Island to here because they said there's no place in Rhode Island.
And they've driven.
Yes, they've driven from Rhode Island to here.
That I actually didn't know that. That's insane. How long of a drive is that?
Maybe an hour and some change, depending where they're located, if it's Providence or
Right. Did they are they saying how they found you, or
they're saying by Google? They Googled fingerprinting and I popped up.
whatever you're doing the right thing. We can't take the credit for that because we told you what to do. You're the one actually doing it though. So
you can't take the credit. You gave me the advice.
No. That is awesome. What about for anybody watching this right now? Like, what about you and your company are like people seeing that like make you the go-to company? Like what are some of the things that we've been doing, or like?
So like I just took over immigration law firms. They now work with me and I work with them every Tuesday. And what they told me is that I'm nicer. I'm more understanding. Even though there may be some type of barrier between me and the client, which would be language.
Right.
I invested, hold on.
I'm ready.
I went out and I invested in a translator. And it has over 100 and something languages. And they're so happy when I pull this out. Like you
that is
scared.
Crazy.
I love
that.
I love
is
it.
crazy. That's like it's a real life translate. Like I've never seen it
in real time. So I will say, hey, can you look over this information and make sure everything's correct? And it will translate it back to them in Korean, Japanese, doesn't matter.
Oh my goodness. Like, can you send me a link to that? Because we need like 30 of them.
Yeah, it comes in handy. And believe it or not, the client would appreciate it.
Right. Where did you get it?
It is an app called Touch of Modern that I've seen. I saw it on advertising and I just tried it. As long as you have Wi-Fi, you're fine.
You know, it's funny. I always say I learn stuff every day. I never think that I would learn something live on a YouTube interview, but here we are. So translate. If anybody's watching this, they need translators. Link down below. That is so crazy. That is awesome. Cool. Oh man. So the law firm that you're working with, the immigration law firm, and I know we don't have to go into like too much detail. Well, let's keep that like private, like you and your client base private. But like, how is it that like you said you're working with them every Tuesday? Like how did that like come about?
They Googled me, and they saw my reviews too, and they gave me the phone call. Yes. And they saw that
you're doing like their clients. You're doing like their clients like every Tuesday. You're coming in. You're just fingerprinting people. You're just like
I
basically
go right to them.
Clients on demand or whatever.
Yes.
That is awesome. This business, I always say it's like a hidden gem because you paid like most business, like you're going to start a laundromat, right? You got to pay for equipment. You have to get reviews. You have to have a marketing plan. If you get a restaurant, you have to compete with 17 other restaurants, all doing the same stuff. If you do like any other business in the world, you have to spend like 75 grand just to like break even like the first 6 months. You know, this was like your company was bootstrapped, right? Like from just ground level to like where you are right now. Like,
yes.
like you've never had to pay like more money in this, more money in that, for the most, like an egregious amount of money, to the point where you're like, oh my God, I'm going into debt with this. I'm going, like, everything was bootstrapped from the ground up, right? It's crazy. It's awesome.
Yes.
And now you're in your own office. So cool to
Yes.
see. Cool. For anybody watching right now, if they wanted to contact you, if somebody wanted to partner with you, if somebody wanted to just learn more, where can they find you? What's like your business name, your website, stuff like that?
Absolutely. I have everything right here for
Oh,
you.
you're getting it ready. Oh, you got the QR code too. If you're watching this on the computer, scan that bad boy right now. Leave a review.
That was everything on the back of there, what I do.
That is awesome. What is
So
the website is
Fingerprint?
primefingerprint.com?
Yes, primefingerprint.com, Boston, Massachusetts.
If anybody's watching right now and you're in the area and you want to partner with Jamila, click that link down below. Or if anybody wants to learn more about how this process was started in a closed state, if you want to recreate Jamila's success, click that link down below. You'll be able to know further. But is there anything that you would say to the people who are watching right now who are about to take the same journey as you? What would be like the best advice to like continue to be as successful as you are right now, and like not lose faith and make sure that like what you have right now like is recreatable anywhere in the US?
I would tell them start. They should have started yesterday. Have no fear.
Spots are filling up quickly. There's only so many fingerprinting businesses that can be created, you know?
And you're going to love it. As long as you're a people person, this is the job for you.
Yeah.
And I'm all for boring business. People say this is a boring business. I love it.
Yeah.
Well,
because you're interacting with people, you know, and it's, you hear the craziest stuff. You know, one time it's an attorney that calls you, hey, every Tuesday we need you. One time it's a person who's traveling to Spain to go work some crazy job, and they call you at like 7 p.m. and they're like, I need fingerprints now. Like, how long does this take? I need this yesterday. And then price goes up, you know.
People, believe it or not, they're surprised about how quick the service is, because they're thinking they're going to be here half an hour, 45 minutes. And in 20 minutes when they're done, they're like, what?
I was going to say, how long does it take you to fingerprint somebody now? Probably like 20 minutes.
Or less, depending what it is. Ink is
awesome. Not a problem. Boom, 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 done. You're an expert. I love it. Well, listen, Jamila, thank you so much for the interview today.
Thank you.
It was good catching up with you. I know it's been a minute. We're going to do another one a year from now, and we're going to see just how much more you've gone, past the point and scaled your business. But it was awesome. We appreciate it. For anybody watching again who wants to contact Jamila, partner with, or just learn more about the business, there's a link down below. We'll be able to help you out. But it's been a pleasure today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.